5, 7, 1, 2, 3.
Hi, this is Pods and Ends, the junk drawer of pop culture and geek podcasts. Hello everybody, it's Pods and Ends podcast here, episode 20.
Phil's back!
Yay! Phil!
I'm here again.
Phil.
We haven't got a, what's it called?
Main event?
Because we got too much other stuff to talk about. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to whiz through our sections, and you'll be delighted to know every section is filled. Mm-hmm. So let's start off
with Phil.
Oh, I've got to introduce. I'm here, Phil. And
Sophie.
Shelby.
And Brian.
And I'm Phil.
Yeah.
So kick it off with Sophie's favourite. Off the shelf. Today she's talking about a BTS autobiography probably or something.
I'm feeling very attacked right now, not going to lie.
Okay. You go first, Soph. Off the shelf.
Turn off the television. In fact, why don't you turn off all the lights except for the one over your favourite chair? It's time for Off the Shelf.
So, BTS have got a webtoon. So, I want to talk about just because it finished this week, I want to say. It could have been last week. My weeks are blurring a little bit. And yeah, I hope there's going to be another series, so to speak. I think that's because this feels like there wasn't a conclusion. Basically, the whole webtoon was Jin going back to the same bit of a Groundhog Day kind of thing. I say that like I've watched Groundhog Day and know what that means, but I've heard the term phrase before.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah, you go back to the same day each time. Is that am I getting accurate? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he keeps going back to the same day in order to save the other members who are mostly dying horrible deaths, to be honest, or going to prison and things like that. It's really, really dark. And it kind of ends with spoilers. But it sort of ends with no real conclusion in that it's he kept going back and saving them, but it's did that actually work or not? Some more observant people than myself noticed at the end when he's lying on the bed that 7 petals fell from this sky, and there are how many members of BTS, everybody?
37.
Yay! Just 7.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. That's obviously only 7. So I don't know if that means anything, but I only counted 6, and then there was 1 in his hand. Anyway, so it didn't really conclude, so I kind of am hoping there's going to be another series, but it was really, really good, and it was cool kind of looking for clues, because there's so much more in the BTS universe than just music if you want there to be. So that was cool. The big thing that I've just finished reading this week, though, was Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. This was one of my most anticipated Star Wars books this year. Pretty sure you would agree there, Brian, since I think it's going to be the only one you're going to read this year.
That is accurate. As far as I know. I don't even know what's coming out. I didn't look at any of the publishing stuff from Celebration.
Oh, they haven't announced anything, actually.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, the only thing that's got my ears pricked up is Project Luminous. And there are 5 authors, Claudia included, that have been have come out and said that they're part of Project Luminous, and we know that it's big, and that's all we know. They literally haven't given anything away for that, so that could be a big series or something, maybe.
Yeah, someone on Twitter, Matt Martin, I think, tweeted that Alphabet Squadron book has a lot of Rogue One feels, the tone and stuff, so that almost makes me excited about that. But
yeah.
I mean, that's their marketing person telling you that. So
yeah, and that's going to be more than, I think that's part of a series as well. I don't think that's going to just finish with the one book. So that's I'm up for some more series in the Star Wars universe. But Master and Apprentice is about Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. and it was really, really good. I mean, I had pretty high hopes because it's Claudia, and she's obviously great. She has this knack of really getting the characters that she's writing about. So when you're reading about Leia, you're hearing Carrie Fisher like throughout, and it was exactly the same. I think she really, really got Qui-Gon, which is the important one to get in this book because Obi-Wan's younger and he's a bit teenagery still. So he was sort of like, he's still great, but it was like Qui-Gon who you really wanted that feel for and that nuance, and she definitely nailed it. So it was highly recommend Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray.
What is the main premise? Just them out doing a mission and seeing how they interact and how they are as characters back before.
So that it's basically they're I don't want to go. I'm cautious to go into too many like spoilers, but like there's a planet called Pijal, I think, and there is a young queen there who is about to be sort of sworn into power, and then there's kind of the drama that brings about because there's an opposition movement against it. So she does the politics well. It felt quite Bloodline in the politics side of this, but you've then got the Jedi running around as well. And there's a cool new Jedi character who has been sort of based on Pijal for years and years and years because he was just a bit of a headache for the Jedi Order. He's very interesting as well. And then it's kind of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon like figuring out their relationship as well because it's not the smoothest, actually. They're very different people, certainly at this stage in their lives. And so that was really cool to read as well. Part of me was like, oh, I want them to just be like best of friends and it will be good, but actually like this is better writing to have it this way.
Yeah, that the fanfic version is where they are like two buddy cops out around the galaxy, like just
no, they proper they fall out in this quite spectacularly in places, which is cool to see because actually, you know, they are very different. Even as an adult, you know, Obi-Wan's a very different adult to Qui-Gon, so it was it was cool. Highly recommend.
Cool. I'll be getting to it here eventually.
Yeah, I think you'll tentatively think you'll enjoy this one.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So, what have you been reading this week, Brian?
I have fallen into the Saga comic book by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, and I absolutely love it. It is one of the best marriages of both high fantasy and hard sci-fi, because usually when you merge the two together, you end up with something like Star Wars, which is mostly sci-fi and then has the Force element of fantasy in it. I mean, you know, some people take it to the extreme, but we can talk about that later. But this has like different races and robots and spaceships and different planets and guns and magic and it's just everything. Ghosts, cats that can tell if you're lying. I mean,
that's important.
Yeah, it is. It's a really cool character. It's actually called Lying Cat, and it's just a big cat that basically acts like a dog, and if someone's lying, it just goes lying. I assume that's the voice it has anyway. You know, obviously it's a comic book, so. But if you like either of those genres, and especially if you like both, it is fantastic. It's very much an adult comic, which is kind of funny. We were talking earlier about how I'm very much into reading young adult fiction and adult comics, which is normally the opposite. You think comics would be for kids and fiction would be for adults, but flipping the script here. But yeah, it's very good. Very, very good. Art's good. The story is terrific. Very much into it, just blazing through it right now. So
is it quite a long series?
Yeah, it's ongoing as well. I think there are 4 trades so far, something like that. I'm still not even finished with the first one, almost, but really looking forward to just plowing through it. And then I'm probably going to subscribe because it's really, really good.
Nice.
I agree.
I just read True Beauty, that's it.
Yeah. Shelby reads boring business books and
Yeah.
magazines and 300 Facebook articles.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah. There's really nothing much to say. That's
Yeah,
we
we'll
haven't
catch
caught
up
up yet. Yeah,
to
we'll-
our hashtag True Booty podcast.
yes.
later.
Next week, I'll make sure I'm all caught up by then. But from the point I left off at, it's the drama has really, really kicked up in it.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah.
Stuff is finally happening.
Yes.
And we're getting answers. So
Yeah.
go read
I'm
it.
hyped. I think it's going to be an important few episodes. So yes, we will put a pin in that and come back to that next week. So let's move on into the silver screen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats for the silver screen.
Phil, we watched a film, didn't we, the other week?
The Dirt.
The Dirt.
Oh, nice.
Motley Crue
It's like a Netflix
bio documentary
film.
film epic.
Yeah. Ramsay Bolton is in it, just to like put that one out there.
Is he the same type of character?
No.
Thankfully.
Plays grumpy old man.
He does play a grumpy old man, yeah.
The
eldest member of...
It's excellent.
Yeah. It was
Better
interesting.
than Bohemian Rhapsody.
But do you know what I was just going to say? I mean, we don't. Why does
Ooh,
everything
snap.
have to be better or worse? But I'm just saying it wasn't interesting to compare because we've only just seen Bohemian Rhapsody as well, and it was interesting to compare the two because this one, where I think Bohemian Rhapsody shied away slightly from the rock and roll lifestyle,
This was all drugs and boobies.
this did not. But it really didn't. And I remember, like, we got about halfway through, and I was like, how are they still alive? I was starting to like look at them all on Wikipedia, and I was like, oh, they're all still alive. That blew my mind because I don't know how they didn't just die. I don't know how they survived the 80s, any of them, to be honest. It was, yeah. But all of them were really, really good, weren't they? Everybody sort of played their part really well. Like the guy who plays Nikki Sixx was great. And I thought, yeah, Ramsey was brilliant as well. I
Tommy
don't know
Lee was
who
good,
he-
yeah.
Oh yeah, Tommy Lee. I don't know how they managed to pull that off. He looked amazing. So yeah, it's a really, really cool film. It was really interesting, and I think was quite accurate because again, I think they all
They
co-produced
did that
it,
nice
didn't
thing at
they?
the end where they show the two scenes together.
Yeah.
How it happened and how it actually happened, and they were all very similar.
Yeah, and I think the actors also met the people who they were playing, like each band member. There were sort of pictures of them together, weren't there?
Yeah.
So obviously, the guys came down on set. So yeah, it was really cool, wasn't it? It was highly recommend that, the Dirt Netflix original film. And
I really
then
love that when they do those side by sides, because they did it with the Tonya Harding movie, and it was just almost
Oh, it was
the
scary.
most like entertaining part of the whole movie. Like, it was a really good movie, but then at the end you're like, oh my gosh, I thought they were like, hyping this up for cinema, but no, that's pretty much exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I have like no problem believing that any of the things that happened. Oh god, the Ozzy Osbourne cameo. Well, it wasn't obviously Ozzy, it was some guy playing young Ozzy, and he was just minging, wasn't he, basically? Back then. He was a really minging person. So, yeah. Yeah, it was grim, wasn't it?
It was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good film, yeah. And you watched something, didn't you?
I watched a film that's been out a few years called War Dogs, which is a little bit down the line of Lord of War, and then filmed more in a way of Wolf of Wall Street. And it's about two guys who take on military contracts for America and sell guns and weapons to the American army.
Oh.
And the story of them and the corruption and how bad it is. Jonah Hill's one of them. I can't remember who the other guy is, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was filmed well, and it was a bit of a laugh. But it's based on a true story as well. So
Oh, okay.
they both got put in prison.
Jonah Hill's kind of turning into like quite a good actor, I think.
Yeah.
Like some of the parts he plays, like in Wolf of Wall Street, wasn't it? I am thinking of the right guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with the teeth in Wolf of Wall Street. Like, yeah, I think he's turning out pretty good compared to sort of the kind of
But
fluff he
it
was in.
was, and then it was just, it changed laws of how America buys their ammunition and guns and stuff like that, and how corrupt it all is, and who's buying what and how much they're paying for it and stuff. Is kind of shocking, really.
Yeah.
But it keeps
Isn't
the world
that just
going
disappointing?
round.
Don't you feel like the whole world is just like corrupt? Like there's no good anywhere.
No,
Wow.
it really isn't.
Yeah.
Wow, it's just
And
Everyone
on
just
that
turn
note,
off your podcast and lay down and give up.
But it's kind of, yeah, like they said at one point that wars make the world go round because,
Oh yeah, war is profit, man.
yeah,
Just
people make
ask
money
Tony
out of
Stark.
yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then this afternoon we had a spare hour or two, and we thought, what should we put on? Because we both want to have a chill. And we put on Mamma Mia 2.
Oh,
Here we
gosh.
go again.
Bad.
They're like, the thing is, it's like we have like a whole separate genre.
There's
don't
no
we?
storyline to it at all.
No, but we
It's
have this.
awful.
We have this sort of genre in our household, don't we? Of like, I will have to edit this for the podcast, but it's like rubbish but good, if that makes sense. And where something's like, so it's not like the Meg kind of, it's bad but it's good. And this was sort of like, I was entertained. You know, we kind of sat there, and I think it helps that I like ABBA, so I can just kind of bop along. Everybody was a bit obscenely good looking for me, though, to be honest. The main girl, what did we say? her
Lily
name was?
James
Lily
and Amanda
Yeah, she
Sedgefield.
was like painful to look at. You know, when you're just like, you need to be arrested, to be honest.
But yeah,
It is, yeah.
I'll probably never watch it again. But we watched it.
Yeah, we were saying like fair play on like Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan,
for rocking
yeah.
up in it. Like, why did he need to do
And
that film?
Skarsgård
You know?
and Colin Firth. There's
Yeah.
no point in them being in that
I
film,
think they're
but
just
they
having
still
fun.
turned up. And
Had fun. It looked like a blaster film. So, anyway, what about you guys? What have you been watching?
Not anything terrible like that. To be fair, I've never seen the second one. I watched the first one and I wanted to peel my eyeballs out of my skin. But, you know, that's just me. A lot of people like it.
It's
Question
pretty
mark?
bad. I watched it again because I was pretty young when I watched it the first time, and then watching it again, I was like, "Ooh, this is not good."
It's always sad when you watch something like the second time after a long time and you have fond memories of it and you watch it and you're like, oh, God.
This is garbage.
Yeah, what was wrong with me when I was
But
younger?
This week we watched
Interview with the Vampire.
Yes!
It was very good.
We've been on a bit of a vampire kick, as you'll find out in a later segment. But I wanted Shelby to see what I consider probably the best film version of vampires, save maybe the Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, I do love that one.
That's a good one. But
Twilight
I
as
don't
well. Don't forget Twilight.
no, get out of here with that. I will
I
run
mean,
across.
I will
the
say
Atlantic.
that it is a it's pretty film.
All right, carry on with
It's
interview anyway.
pretty,
That's not-
but yeah, nothing on Interview with the Vampire. Had
Well, I
you seen it
think-
before?
Oh, I have like
I
several
had
times,
not.
but Shelby hadn't.
Oh, okay. So that seems to have been Kirsten Dunst's like finest performance of her career.
Oh my God! Like by far, she's
Oh,
amazing.
it's
She steals
what?
scenes from
Incredible.
Tom Cruise and Brad
Brad
Pitt.
Pitt? How
As a
did that
little
happen?
girl.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what?
Yeah.
And now she can't act her way out of a plastic
Oh,
bag.
once again, the idea of someone trying to act their way out of a, paper or plastic bag. I think it's.
I think I
supposed
said cardboard box last time.
Yeah.
I try to keep
Like
it
someone's like,
interesting.
to be, help. I don't
Yeah.
know. Really poorly acted.
Yeah, that's what I
um,
mean.
I thought this movie was fantastic. Mm-hmm. And
I think it holds up well for as
Yeah, it
old
does.
as it is.
Yeah.
it did, and the sets are incredible, especially the stuff in like the old South.
I really like Armand's catacomb. I think
Really? I didn't
I think
think that
that
was
set
that
is
good.
incredible.
I was like meh about that. It was the
Well, yeah, you already like the old South, so
yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and,
Well,
Anne Rice does
anytime you
write
have all
that
that
as well.
all that Spanish moss and raised cemeteries and all that.
Yeah. It's very atmospheric, isn't it? It's I always like when I first watched that film. I remember because I'd already read Anne Rice's books, and then I assumed that the characters would be switched. I thought Tom Cruise would be playing Louis and Brad Pitt would be playing Lestat. That was because, like, if you picture Lestat, you would think that would be Brad Pitt. And I was, like, so impressed with Tom Cruise's performance. Like, he really, really captures Lestat, and I was so surprised. And actually, Brad Pitt is a great Louis as well.
Yeah, I thought that as far as casting goes, it's one of the most well done.
Apart from Armand, but...
I thought Armand was fine.
Well, he's meant to be like a 14-year-old ginger kid. And then they're like, no, Antonio Banderas is going to be... He's great. He played it so... Yeah, Armand is about 14. He might even be younger. Yeah, he's 14 and he has got long auburn curls.
But
it's hysterical. And then they were like, Antonio, you're up.
Yeah, too many kids in one movie. Can't do it.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, honestly, that could very well have been it. It didn't... That wouldn't have... It makes sense for like why Armand hated her so much because he hates himself. But yeah, Antonio still does a really good performance. So
that's what I meant. Like he pulls it off. It's not what it was meant to be, but it works.
Yeah, totally. I'm excited if they're going to do a series based in it because it is such a good like world.
Yeah, her vampire universe is my favorite.
Just not Queen of the Damned, the film. That was rubbish.
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever. We'll pretend that never happened.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do, actually. But yeah, the Interview the Vampire was, like, just sensational.
I like Christian Slater in it as well.
I loved Christian Slater in it.
Yeah.
He was so good.
I think you got a bit of a crush on him.
I do a little bit, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it was the whole, like, Robin Hood vibe. I was the right age for, like, the Robin Hood vibe. Yeah. Yeah, so
that's a good Robin Hood movie too. Just by the by, but anyway,
I could so that's with a spoon.
That's our silver screen.
Oh, I'm so happy with that. Okay, let's go on into Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill.
Phil, what have you been Netflixing?
I've been. It came up this morning. Actually, I was in bed. The sun was shining through the window. I'll set a scene for you. Soph was snoring.
I don't snore, so that's a lie.
Into your new house.
Oh, new house. Wood.
And I had a spare hour. And so I thought, what's going on Netflix? So I had a flick on Netflix, and Chris Lilly has made a new TV program called Lunatics.
So who is Chris Lilly? Firstly, for people.
Chris
who might not be
Lilly is an
aware.
Australian actor. Slash comedian, slash producer, director, writer, who likes to make caricature characters of Australian, Japanese, and South African people.
Yeah.
In like he dresses up as schoolgirls.
Yeah,
it sounds really bad.
He will cross-dress.
He dresses up as schoolgirls.
Yeah.
He likes to dress up as
older women.
Yeah, a Japanese mum, like an overprotective Japanese mum in the series Angry Boys. So this
Angry
is
Boys, that's it. Yeah.
This is the next evolution of that, and one of his characters is a South African psychic who is a psychic to animals. So you just have like a 3-minute clip of him doing something stupid with a dog and telling the dog saying rude things. It's quite a rude program. So saying things to the owner about the husband and what he gets up to around the house when he's not there, etc. And it's a bit weird. And I know a couple of people I work with really enjoy it, or that sort of genre of comedy. I know it's not to everyone's taste, but it does crack me up. And he is, in my opinion, a genius. He is so funny. I love it so much.
I wonder if he does those accents because they're the accents he can do.
Yeah,
if he worked out, like, I can do a really good South African accent, so I'm going to play a South African character.
The South African psychic he plays is a middle-aged woman with an afro. It's basically an Australian man playing him. It's just so stupid, but I find it hilarious. So that is my recommendation, or what I've been watching on Netflix.
Lunatics, then, isn't it?
Lunatics, yeah.
Okay. Is it a Netflix original as
Netflix
well?
original,
Okay.
So once again, they've nicked it off of the BBC, or Netflix have taken something off BBC, and done an original, so you have to now buy Netflix.
You sounded really patriotic then, didn't you? Like, they've taken it from the BBC. The
How dare they?
establishment.
This American company.
Okay, so
Oh no.
I wasn't on the Celebration episode. But how are we all going to afford so much money and to buy telly? Because at some point I'm not going to be able to watch any Disney films unless I get Disney Plus, and then I can't watch these other things on Netflix, so I don't buy my Netflix, and then I need to pay my TV license for BBC. It's just ridiculous.
Can we not pay our TV license and just watch
Nope.
Netflix? What?
Exactly,
Wow.
and that is why.
Yeah.
So it's just TV has just become a money grabbing scheme now.
Yeah. And we might not get Disney Plus until next year, maybe. We'll see. If we can't, because they're doing like a global rolling out as well. But that's a whole. Maybe we'll dedicate an entire episode into why can't Disney do an international release when they are like the biggest company on the planet.
Like, I think Netflix original is amazing and they make so much money.
Yeah.
But at some point, another company's going to come along. I'm not saying it's going to be Disney, but someone else will come along and you'll think, oh, there's another £10 I need to spend.
Yeah. Well, Amazon Prime is like up there, isn't it?
Amazon Prime, there's another £10.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Well,
you have Amazon Prime, you have Hulu, you have
you guys have
Apple
Hulu, don't
is
you?
doing
Yeah.
one now. You have CBS has one, I think. Yeah, everyone's just gonna come out. There's gonna be no over-the-air TV soon. It's just all gonna be streamed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're getting to the point where it's going to be you pay for the channels you want.
Well, I think
Yeah.
you can do that with like Sling and some of
Okay,
those
yeah.
other, like it exists, and it's basically like a streaming service that has live TV. I mean, Hulu has that now. You can get sports packages, which is what I'm thinking of doing. The only problem is with bundles for your cable, it's cheaper just to have cable and not watch it than it is to have just the internet and then your phone service or whatever you're bundled all together. It's such a racket.
This is it, because I know in America they have like boxing pay-per-views are very expensive, but the idea is you get some friends round or whatever, and you'll sit and you'll give
And that's your
$10,
evening, yeah.
and you make an event of it.
Yeah.
In the UK, we pay like £14 for a pay-per-view,
Mm-hmm.
but the latest fights for the big boxers are all going to a new channel,
Okay.
so you just got to then pay £14 a month all the time.
Yeah.
I might not want to watch a fight every month. I might want to watch a fight every so often. Yeah, if you're really into it and you want to get it enough, amazing. But we'll get the Disney one and we'll watch The Mandalorian. What else are we going to watch? Nothing.
You can't. The thing is, you almost can't be like a casual fan of something. You can't just dip in and out. You have to
Well, you
really
you
commit
can
to it.
though. Like that's the beauty of it. Like if you only like Stranger Things, you get your July subscription of Netflix. You watch Stranger Things. You cancel it. You've spent $8-9 whatever it is to watch the show you want to watch, and then you're done.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to keep subscribing. It's not like they erase it from your brain if you quit paying them.
Some
I mean,
people are
now they
organised
probably
to
will later.
cancel their subscriptions to things.
That's the thing. Then you need to employ a manager at home, so then you'll subscribe.
Yeah,
unsubscribe all of your subscriptions,
I
don't you?
basically
So-
need a PA to
Anyway,
manage my telly.
that's got very political by me there. So
Yeah. So
let me guess. It's about BTS.
no, but it came from BTS.
Oh, okay.
So I've entered
This
the world.
sounds like a weird horror movie. It
No,
came from BTS.
I'm in a BTS Discord group now. That happened in my life,
Oh
and
my.
Congratulations.
it's a good place for me to get some, so that you guys don't have to hear it all the time. To be honest, so you'll be thankful. But anyway, they were talking about K-dramas in there, and I was like, "How are you guys watching K-dramas?" Because I watched like My Love from the Stars on like this teeny tiny screen on my phone on YouTube, and that was all I could get it on. And they were like, you just go on Netflix and like you type in K-dramas, and then there's loads of K-dramas there. So it turns out they're all on there.
Do they all
there's-
talk like that?
I don't know. In my head, I give people accents. So you've got all these K-dramas on there, and I fell down the rabbit hole. And I actually didn't. I was gonna go with Boys Over Flowers because that's kind of like the benchmark. I think it's like their Friends almost. And it's quite old as well, so we get to see some like retro K-dramas. But I actually just landed on because I saw that it was based off a webtoon and thought it was True Beauty, The program is called My ID is Gangnam Beauty. I thought it was, it said it was based off a webtoon, and I thought it was going to be...
They have a
actually-
television show based off of a webtoon.
Yeah. But
That
I
is
haven't
kind
found...
of amazing.
Yeah, I haven't figured out which webtoon. It could have been very loosely inspired by True Beauty, but I don't think so, because this girl was basically so ugly in school, and you never see her face in her flashbacks, that she got plastic surgery because she was just so unhappy. And it's when you click on it, it looks I think I've sent you guys like the intro credits, and it looks really, really cheesy, and it is cheesy, but it's really, really dark as well. Like, they talk about kind of like suicidal feelings and the kind of the pressure to drink, like the drinking culture on their college campuses, and the kind of sleazy guys, and that sort of whole culture of like women being taken advantage of and women being treated as objects. And so it's actually gotten a lot deeper, but I'm kind
You
of
said
into
this
it.
is not in the U.S.?
It's just on Netflix. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, it's based in Korea. But yeah, I see what you did there.
Hashtag
Yeah, it's all
America.
very yes, it's very political, very
I watched
relevant.
5 minutes of it.
Yeah, it's. I'm
Trash.
gonna guess you hate. See, you might have
Absolute
just-
trash. But
How can you judge something on 5 minutes? The shows are an hour long.
that's what people do with this podcast. That's why the introduction's so important.
That's why I'm not allowed to do the introduction, guys. By myself, I ban myself from doing it. But it's really cool, and it's definitely got me interested in checking out some more K-dramas as
It's
well.
subtitled,
Yes, yeah. There's no.
so I have to read the screen, so I can't look at my phone. That's probably why I don't like it.
That's probably why I like it, actually, because I get annoyed with myself if I'm checking my phone when I want to be watching a show. So actually, watching things with subtitles just gets you off your damn phone, which is a good thing. So,
It really is. It really is.
what are you guys Netflix and chilling about?
Well, as we said, vampires. So,
Nice.
True Blood.
yeah. I started watching True Blood when it first aired on HBO way back when. I watched several seasons of it and then just kind of gave up. That's how I am with serial television. For some reason, like, I can't keep up. That's why binging is so great, and it's done, wonders for people's viewing of scripted television. But anyway, True Blood. It's a weird kind of soap opera of a vampire universe, and it's fun.
Stokey
really campy.
Steakhouse.
House
There you
of
go.
Steakhouse
It's okay.
from Vampire Bill.
How
You
far
guys-
through are you at the moment?
We're
We've
just
been
into
introduced to Marianne.
just into
Oh,
season
okay.
2.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice. Oh, it's
You
so
haven't got
good.
to praise his light.
Praise
yet,
his
then.
light.
Yeah. Jason is at the weird cult camp.
Yeah.
He's done very well at Capture the Flag.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's just been introduced to the leader's wife.
Yeah. And she broke out her, what was it? Banana pudding.
Oh,
for
yeah.
him.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my gosh, you're bringing back so many good memories. This is like,
We watched it. Yeah, we watched it when it first came out.
yeah,
But I think we've done the same. We got probably 4 series in, and then it fizzled out, and we didn't watch
Yeah.
any more of it. So
yeah.
this could be the encouragement for us to get back into actually, because
I have all the books upstairs, and they are so good as well. I kind of
Are they?
like it. Yeah, they're like. I likened it to magazine reading because it just
that's
was
right
like,
up Shelby's alley.
yeah, it's just sort
Thanks,
of chill.
Brian.
They're not. They're
Slight
basically-
little dig right there.
We're busy people. Sometimes you just want to switch off and read something that's not gonna, like overly challenge you. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way either. Like, they were just great fun books.
Right. I mean, I think it's because I work in a really technical field. So when I'm reading things every day, you have to
Yeah.
really read it. And so
Yeah.
when I come home, I don't really want to have to think that much when I read.
Yeah. Well, you might like these books then, because they're super cool.
but yeah, we really enjoyed it. And something else must have come on, and it just feels like. But
Yeah. But I was.
Well, it does get kind of less than good as it moves
Yes, it
forward.
does.
Shelby already looked up spoilers because she can't handle not knowing things.
Yeah.
That's why she actually needs serial television, because otherwise she just ruins everything for herself. But anyway,
My When
Yeah.
fairies come into
when
things.
it
isn't
gets into the werewolves part, I like that. Mostly because I like the actor who plays the main werewolf.
Yeah, he was cool. I cannot
but-
remember that guy's name, but yeah.
It's I'll pronounce it wrong. It's Joe Manganiello or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. He's really into D&D, which is cool. Like,
Nice.
yeah, he's a
He
good
looks
follow
like a
on
real
Instagram.
man, doesn't he?
A proper, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
yeah.
But it's funny too because there on his Instagram there's a picture of him next to the dude that plays the mountain,
Oh, okay.
and like he's a normally large dude compared to most other dudes, and then the mountain makes him look like a teenage boy. It's crazy. He's a huge human being.
I really felt like the first season was like, wow, this stuff's going really, really fast. This is going real fast. They really should have, like, kind of stretched that out a little longer, in my opinion. But
Yeah, you kind of get like I like there's characters that you and directions that you think it's going in, and then it just does a complete U-turn and does something completely out, which I quite liked. It keeps you on your toes, and obviously, I was obsessed with Eric and Pam. They're just like the best.
Oh yeah, Eric's one of my favorite characters in the whole thing.
So good, honestly.
Shelby doesn't like him. Every time he came on
you
screen, I was
not?
like, Eric.
he's not my favorite.
He'll grow on you, I guarantee it. Because early he's kind of a, not great character, but that's his whole MO. So
I'm
Yeah,
really liking Jessica, though.
Jessica. Yes, yes. Jessica's cool.
act as vampire. Yeah, we just got to the scene where she goes back home. It's really
It's
pretty intense.
It's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I'm surprised how much I like it. Even though I'm watching this, I'm like, this isn't the best, but I really like it.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, it's cheesy entertainment, and it's not meant to be like Interview with the Vampire. It's
I think
No.
Lafayette is my favorite character.
yeah, Lafayette's terrific. So is Tara.
Yeah, they did a good.
She
so,
irritated me.
like Lafayette died in the book, in like book one.
Yeah.
And so I
Really?
was like, why are you still here? I don't understand it. But actually, they did. It was a good thing. That was a really good change from the book because the actor's really great. And he's a cool character to have around. But it always confuses me when they do that in like books, and I'm like, oh, I feel like you're gonna die next episode, and then they just don't.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing because you have this previous knowledge, and then for every scene after that, you're like, is he gonna die now?
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
but he's gonna die now. He's still not dead yet. I don't know what to think.
Oh,
Well-
honestly, I've been on edge with Brienne of Tarth from like season 2. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
stressful.
She dies tonight, I bet.
Oh, don't. Right, save
Oh,
that.
man.
For your phone
We'll get to that later.
section.
Stop. Well,
Yes.
the whole point of why we started watching this was because we've also been kind of doing Netflix documentary series, and one of them was we watched like the first 2 episodes of the 2000s, and it was talking about the millennium age of TV, and
Oh, okay.
they were talking about how HBO really changed the game.
With like Sopranos and The Wire and Deadwood and then True Blood.
And I was like, maybe we should watch that. So that's why we started watching it. And then also we started watching Wild Wild Country, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's won
aptly
awards
named.
and it's really good.
It's about this. I don't know. I guess technically they're a cult, but it's like a religious group from India that moves to this.
Middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
Oregon.
It's a town of, what does it have, 40 people or something
Yeah,
like that.
Antelope.
And they just like expand and build their commune there, and then obviously the, sort of backwoodsy people don't want them there because they're different, and there's all this political stuff, and
They end up like manipulating the system that we have for our own elections and everything in a completely legal way to get their way. And it's insane.
yeah, and then the crazy part is you see them doing all this stuff, and you're like, well, I mean, you might not like it, but they're using the law to their advantage, and then they get pushback, and then the cult people start getting really, really,
Really
weird.
crazy and
Like,
weird.
you're like, oh, I don't really feel bad for anyone anymore. everyone is a bad person. It just all goes back to that. The world is corrupt.
The world is
Everyone's a bad
terrible.
person.
I feel like is that
Oh,
the
dogs are
note we're
barking.
leaving Netflix and chill? Is that...
But yeah, I would highly recommend it. The music is super good.
Oh,
Like
cool.
they scored it really well.
All right. Well, shall we head into the locker room?
Listen up, sports fans. It's time for the locker room.
Phil, you need to tell them about your stressful Wednesday night, don't you?
Didn't they see the videos? Tottenham Hotspur Football Club actually lost, ironically, to Manchester City Football Club 4-3 on the second leg. But due to the away goal rule, so they ended up winning 4-4 because of the away goals. Because they scored more away goals than Manchester City scored.
How do you win 4-4? That's a
because
tie, isn't it?
Because an away goal equals 1.1 goals.
Oh.
To encourage the attackingness of both legs of the game rather than waiting till the opposing team comes to your stadium and then playing in front of your home crowd. You have that home crowd advantage. So if you can get an away, it encourages the team that are playing away to try and attack to get the goals. But it wasn't just that. So football games normally finish 2-1, 1-0, 2-2. Not very exciting. This was 4-3. It was just epic. And recently they have brought in video refereeing, which they call VAR. And they had two VAR decisions. One was whether a Tottenham player handballed the ball into the back of the goal, which was ruled he didn't, so that goal counted. But then there was an offside.
So it's basically what we call instant replay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was an offside decision. And Manchester City scored in the second from last minute of the game, which meant they would have gone through. And I was devastated, obviously, but devastated. Because Tottenham have never reached this stage of this competition before. It's like the furthest they've ever been. So I was super
Oh, for real? Like in their entire existence?
So I was super stoked. And then a Tottenham player made a mistake. Fortunately, there was an offside. The ball came across. Raheem Sterling smacked it in the back of the net. And I was close to tears. But VAR, video refereeing, came in. Offside, goal doesn't count. And at that point, the shirt comes off, the jumper's off. I'm just walking around the lounge, shouting at the telly.
You did a few lengths, didn't you? Just
Shouting
sort
at
of
the
ran
telly.
back and forth.
Come on, have some of that,
Yeah.
and other expletives that cannot be mentioned. The neighbours must think we're crazy. And then
That probably started as soon as you moved in.
and then the final whistle goes, and the joy.
Yeah.
It was good times.
Amazing.
Good
Well, they're
times.
doing it without their kind of main striker, aren't they? He's gone off with a horrific injury last game, was
Yeah,
it?
he's torn his ankle ligaments.
That was that big deal guy they had for the World
Harry
Cup, right?
Kane, yeah. And so
Yeah,
but
yeah.
now we've got Son Heung-min, haven't we?
We've got a nice South Korean player
Yeah.
who is an absolute hero. They're all heroes, to be honest. That's
Yeah,
not,
oh my
that's
God.
not just wow. So come on, we're not a one-man team. We're a bunch of heroes in our team.
Yeah, but like
We are Tottenham, super
Is
Tottenham.
Phil stood up
we
right
are
now?
Tottenham from the lane.
Is he too
he's
excited?
rising from there. Oh,
And I'm proud to be.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, wrong thing.
And so yeah, they've got to play a team from Holland now called Ajax. And over two legs, if they win that, then the final is on the 1st of June in Madrid against Liverpool or Barcelona.
it could be really awkward because my dad and my brother are both Liverpool fans. So whilst it would be cool to have two English teams in the final, because normally it's just like Barcelona, isn't it? Like they have a tendency to
I
do
probably
well.
will swim into the sea and not swim back if Tottenham lose to Liverpool in the final.
It could be super awkward. Really, really, yeah.
So how's it work? It's like you guys play in like a European
Yeah, so
general league, but like during the regular season you just play
so
British teams?
on a
or-
weekend we play a 20 league British league, which
Okay.
stretches north to top of England.
Yeah.
Because it's
Premier
not actually that big, and you can catch a plane. It only takes an hour.
Yeah.
So it's not like this. Obviously, American they have to travel.
But that's literally only England, isn't it?
Days.
Scotland
And
have
then
their own
on a
league.
Tuesday and Wednesday, the top 4 in the English league then get put into the Champions League, and they play groups, and then it goes, once the groups have been played through, they then go into a knockout competition, like the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it is just,
Yeah.
it's a special time to be a Tottenham fan at the moment. We just had a new stadium. We're in the semi-final.
Yeah.
I'm
But
getting a bit emotional.
That's pretty cool that it's like the longest you've
Yeah.
ever
To be
gone.
honest,
That's
Spurs
fun.
are on a really good roll at the moment. They have been they've been climbing, haven't they, for the last few years?
Yeah.
It's
I was
really
a Tottenham
good team.
fan when they used to finish like 17th in the league every
Yeah,
single year.
yeah.
And I used to wear my Tottenham shirt, and people go, "Oh, unlucky. Does your dad support Tottenham? And that's why you support them?"
Yeah.
Because I chose Tottenham as my team, and that's how it is.
I was going to say your dad doesn't support Tottenham, though, does he?
No, I just chose them because they're the best team.
You saw it then, did
Yeah.
you?
He knew, yeah. He saw the writing on the wall.
But that's it for locker room for me this week.
Sensational.
Hopefully next week I will be just ecstatic
I would
about
say
a
his-
6-0
Yeah,
leg.
his words to when that game finished was, "We're going to Madrid in June." I was like, "Steph, let's not buy flights just yet. Let's just calm down a little bit." But yeah, it's exciting.
It was honestly a roller coaster.
I
wasn't
couldn't
it?
watch.
It was a roller coaster
Yeah.
of a game.
I couldn't watch. I can't really watch sport when I support a team. So
It's one of these, we went into the game 1-0 up, and you're like, "Oh, this is good. This is good." 3 minutes into the game, we concede, and then we're like, "Great, we're on the back foot already." Then we score, brilliant. Then we concede. Then we score.
No,
10
he
minutes
scored
is
again,
gone.
didn't he?
It was
Scored
just a
twice.
disaster.
yeah,
But in the end, we beat them.
yeah.
Basically, Man City are owned by Qatar, the country,
Mm.
and they get invested lots of money.
Got it.
Where Tottenham don't. Tottenham are very keen to keep their finances tight and do things properly.
And City, to be honest, they've got so many trophies now. They didn't need this one. They're
Exactly.
fine. They're fine.
Isn't that where Beckham played?
No, Manchester United is where Beckham
Yeah.
played. Yeah,
Oh.
this is like the other club up in Manchester.
Got the Manchester part right.
Did you
Great.
did? I'm pretty proud of you. That sounded patronising, didn't it?
It sounded like you were talking to a little kid, but
You did
that's
very
fine.
good. You
That's
tried.
what I deserve.
No. Do you guys have any locker room?
I do. It's the opposite of
Oh,
yours,
no.
though. So the Stanley Cup playoffs started, and the Penguins won exactly 0 games.
Wowzers.
They got completely swept by the stinking Islanders, who are probably going to get face planted by whoever they play next. And it's just going to be really embarrassing. But in a little bit happier news, the team that did the best overall in the regular season also got swept.
Right.
The Tampa Bay Lightning by the Blue Jackets, who were like the last team to get in. So it takes a little bit of that embarrassing pressure off the Penguins. But they played horribly. The Islanders were playing well, but the Penguins looked like a lost group of little boys trying to play hockey for the first time. It was terrible.
Because it's first to 4, 7
Just-
legs.
It's best
Yeah.
of 7.
Yeah.
So the first win 4 moves on. So now I am officially a Golden Knights fan for the rest of the season. They are up 3-2 versus the Sharks, who I hate. So let's go Golden Knights.
That's Vegas,
That
yeah.
is my
Woohoo!
that's the new
Yeah,
team.
nice.
Yeah. Who's just talk about performing for an expansion team. Generally, your expansion teams are absolutely terrible for years before they even, have a winning season, let alone get into the playoffs. And the Golden Knights are on their way to advancing in the playoffs for the second time in as many years. And last year they were in the finals. It's incredible what they've been able to do. But they're not my main team. The Penguins are, and they suck. So my opposite locker room to yours.
Aw, we should have gone the other way round then, shouldn't we? I feel like that's a little sad.
high.
Yeah.
No, the whole premise of this podcast is that everything is corrupt and the world is terrible. So that's why we have to keep it on this downward spiral.
Okay,
Not really.
in that case, let's ride that high into the game room.
You walk into the game room and immediately take 14 damage.
Phil, you got a game for your birthday.
It's my birthday. I'm now 33 age. Oh, I feel old.
Congratulations. Nah, you're fine.
You're a cool dude in your 30s, you know?
I literally, people will keep going on about how old I am now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a shame.
So what I thought...
It doesn't get any
What
better.
I thought I'd do is ask for a video game for Christmas, and then I get told off,
Okay.
oh, don't call it a video game, that's what old people call it. But I did, I asked for a video game. I got Formula 1 season 2018, because the 2019 season doesn't come out till October, and I didn't want to wait that long. So I started playing it, it was quite difficult. I thought, what's going to make this easier? A steering wheel. So I bought a steering wheel for the PS4,
Nice.
and I'm awaiting for it to turn up tomorrow, and then I'm going to get super excited, and I'm just going to spend all day playing Formula 1.
I'm so excited. I'm going to finish my book whilst you're playing. It's just
Does it have the
I'm so
the
excited you're
pedals?
gonna be
yeah,
preoccupied with
it's
your
the
game.
perfect dynamic for the day.
And you can make your own character, so I can be Filippo Lorenzi from Spain. And
I get it.
yeah, I'm just going to have fun playing it, and hopefully it's going to feel nice, and I'm going to be better, because some of the analog controls on driving games are not good, so steering wheels are much better. So yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Yeah. You've got
for sure.
pedals.
Does it have the whole setup? Do you have the pedals and everything, or is it
Yeah,
just
got
the
pedals and flapper gear
Nice.
shifters. So yeah,
Sweet.
so yeah, I'm excited, really excited actually. Like, yeah.
Is it going to be tomorrow already?
I know. I paid extra to get Amazon to deliver it early as well.
Nice. So you're going to be sat at the door waiting for the
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Nice. Okay. Do you guys have some game room?
I do. I've been playing a new mobile board game. It's actually beta, because I'm super cool like that. But it's called Shards of Infinity. It's a deck building game, kind of like Star Realms that I've talked about before. But this one, I like it better. It's a little more involved than Star Realms. But essentially what it is there's a pool of cards. It kind of works like the Harry Potter game that you guys have played.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you get your generic starting cards, and there's a pool of cards, and you play your cards, and you can get money that you can use to buy these cards in the pool, and then they get replaced by other cards. So you're building your deck as the game goes on, and you're just trying to beat your opponent, just like most card
Nice.
games. But I find it fun, and it was cool because it was free, because it's in beta. So if you want to try it out, just go to the Shards of Infinity website. You can sign up for their beta. I don't know how it works. I just signed up and I got my invite like a day later. So I imagine that it's not stiff competition or anything. They're probably just handing them out to whomever knows enough about it to ask.
Nice. So Shards of Infinity. Okay.
Yes.
Ooh. Cool. Cool. So let's head on over to What's Your Jam?
Far out, man. What's your jam?
Shelby, what have you been bopping to?
Lizzo finally dropped a full album,
Ooh.
and it's called "'Cause I Love You." And
'Cause she do.
It's pretty awesome. Jamming out.
What kind of...
I don't know what else to say. So it has tempo on it. It has, oh gosh, a lot of other singles that she's released previously. But it's a really exciting album. I don't really know what else to say about it other than you should listen to it.
What kind of genre is it?
It's like R&B / pop.
Nice. It's not one I have come across before. Lizzo.
She just played at Coachella recently, so
Yeah, we didn't catch up on that.
It's an
did we?
exciting
We need to
time.
catch up on the highlights from Coachella.
It's a bit too much for me.
It's a bit too Coachella.
I would
Yeah.
never go.
No, I'm not into that. Like, same thing with Celebration. Once you get too many people in one area, I don't want to be there. I don't care what's happening.
We do know who Lizzo is.
Do we? Who is
Yeah.
it then?
She was on Jonathan Ross.
Oh my goodness, Lizzo. Okay. Oh, she's so cool. She's the one who plays the flute, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And cosplays as Sailor Moon. I know who you're talking about. Oh, she's amazing. You should follow her on like Instagram as well because she's great, isn't she?
Yes. Not safe for work.
No,
but
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not even a little bit.
Oh, okay, that's so cool.
So yes, she has a whole new album out. It's really good. I like it.
Nice. Oh, cool. Okay, we'll have to check that out. So, Phil, your jam this week is from the, would you say it's the early 2000s?
The scars remind me that the past is real.
That's true.
I saw Papa Roach Monday night. It was immense. Like, literally crazy good. We went to a little venue in Bristol, and had they talk in Bristol? Are you from Bristol?
Like,
don't feed the pigeons.
Yeah, it's like, you don't feed the pigeons. That kind of, yeah.
I went with two friends, and it was very good. We had a few jars. And we went to a metal pub, actually. That was interesting. All the metalheads there.
Oh, nice.
And then, went in. The support act were okay. Can't remember what they were called.
Who
Can't
was it?
remember.
Oh, well, good job. They left quite the impression.
They were enthusiastic. He basically from his shoulders down, half of his body was completely tattooed black, and the other bit was like not.
Oh.
And I'm not joking. That's not a lie. I wasn't that drunk. I could see I could see properly. And then Papa Roach came on, and it was so good. And in their encore, because Keith Flint recently died from Prodigy, they played a Prodigy cover of Firestarter, and that got the crowd going. Oh, it was so good. And the venue was tiny. It was only like 2,000 people. Yeah. It was for, I'm going to sound like a band of that size, because they are quite a big band. Yeah. Or they were, maybe.
Yeah, I believe they may have fallen off a little bit since their heyday.
I felt that was some. That was a bit harsh. The thing that was nice is that sometimes you go to these gigs and it's full of like 15-year-olds. Oh, I love you. This was just full of people the age when they were in their prime.
You realise we were those 15-year-olds. Remember when we went to see Alice Cooper and everyone was like 50 in there, and then there was me and you like, yeah, schools out for summer. Woo! Why is no one else jumping? And it's because they're all 50 or 60 years old. So we were those annoying kids once. Cut them some slack. I've got good taste in music.
It was an excellent gig, and we went to Kebab House afterwards and had a kebab.
Oh my god! Why?
Drunk rum and cokes. It was just like a bit of a boys' night out, to be honest. And then went the next morning, got up, had a fry up. That's what I call a good wash of jam. That involves
what's a fry up again?
Bacon, eggs, sausages, beans, black pudding, fried toast, tomato.
What's black pudding?
Like blood pudding.
Blood sausage.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
And then I had a latte and an orange as well. And I had toast with Marmite just to round it all off.
Lush.
Enjoy a fry up when you come.
Yum.
You've got varying degrees of fry. You've got like a greasy fry up, haven't you? Which is what this sounds like.
This was a posh place. It was like 11
posh
quid.
Fry up. Okay, you can have posh ones and you can have greasy ones as well. Depends on where you sort of what.
Can I have both?
Yeah, we will take you to both types.
So yeah, that was it. And then the other big news is that we finally got Spotify Premium.
Yeah.
And it's been life changing.
Yeah.
Isn't it awesome?
Yeah.
Absolutely life changing. I like putting in, I put in like Muse or I put in Oasis or something, and then I listen to Muse Radio. So then it gives me a mix of like people that are of the same genre that I might not have heard of. So good. We were just jamming out to The Offspring, weren't we, the other day?
Oh my god! Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I love whenever
keeping the 80s or 90s rather alive.
The Spotify makes the daily mixes that it just learns from the stuff that you listen to.
See, we've wrecked ours now because Phil's brother was over
brother
it,
came
and
round
he
and-
really
oh.
likes. Oh gosh, we haven't even told Brian this, have we? They like country music.
Uh-oh.
They went to some country festival.
They're going to see Carrie Underwood.
I don't even want to be introduced to this person.
Yeah, and so they had that. So it's wrecked our playlists now, hasn't it? Because it was really very much sort of 90s to early 2000s pop rock and K-pop, and now it doesn't know what it's like. I don't know you people. I don't understand.
She thinks my tractor's
So
sexy.
I might have to send Spotify a polite email. Please delete Sunday. Please delete Sunday afternoons listening.
Please delete country music from your playlist.
That's it. What about you, Safe?
BTS's new album dropped, so that was it.
Who were
Well, I'm glad you asked, Brian.
They're the Bangtan Boys.
Yeah, the Bangtan Boys. Yes. I want a T-shirt that says Bangtan Boys on it, and I can't find one anywhere. I just need to.
RM's my bias. He's the rap monster.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He's trying to move away from that, isn't he? But
Carry
Phil's
on.
keeping it alive.
It's called Persona.
No, it's called Map of the Soul : Persona. But the colon, you don't
Close.
say the colon, obviously. So it's Map of the Soul Persona. It's a really, really good album. So you will probably be hearing Boy with Love on the kind of radio. It's featuring, I don't know how to say her name, Halsey.
Oh, Halsey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's featuring her. It's very much a like summer bop. I'm seeing a lot of the live performances, and they look like they're having a lot of fun with it. They all look like they're in really good places right now. And then there's another one which is going to be, I think, an absolute bop, which is Dionysus, or however you want to say it. I say Dionysus.
Dialysis.
That's
No,
how I
not
say it,
dialysis.
too.
It's a very different thing. Probably.
The Korean English.
No, it's not Greek. It's Greek.
No, that's what I'm saying. The
Dionysus.
Korean English
Oh,
translation.
I see.
It was a Korean English joke.
Dionysus is going to be an absolute bop. And I think they've kind of realised from the stage performances, they've realised that they've got 7 really attractive young men, and they're starting to kind of use that.
They're doing lots of hip thrusting.
There's lots of hip thrusting. It's a bit much, if I'm honest with you. It's going
No.
to kill a few people, I think. But they're starting to move a bit more like they're attractive men, which is a little bit too much. You have to take a cold shower after every single time you watch them live at the moment. But it's awesome. And then another personal favourite of mine, Microcosmos. That's a very cool song as well. That's just quite
What's the RM one?
euphoric. RM's one's really good as well. So that's Persona. It's the
I thought it was called Intro.
intro Persona, yeah.
Intro : Persona.
They generally will all have an intro, and then that'll be single
right,
members.
okay.
So I would have thought we will see him sing that.
I look forward to it.
But Boy with Love as well, there's lots of audio, there's lots of opportunity, because you can basically sing Halsey's parts, where it's like, it's lots of oohs, basically, that we can take part in, which is
Because we're lucky we get to go and see
great.
BTS.
Great. Yeah, have I mentioned that at all?
Okay.
Because I might bring it up every week.
Right, let's move on.
Okay, we are going into a brand new segment. It is a limited edition. It's going to be, 6, I think. So let's go into our final segment of the show, the Game of Thrones segment. We haven't recorded it. Is it going to be that? Yeah. Is it just going to be the 4 of us going? Da, 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 da.
What do we think of the new intro?
Yeah, that blew my mind.
Oh, it
I was like,
did.
what? There's new things happening on my screen?
I think it's going to change.
I was honestly not sure if it was new or I just was remembering it wrong because it's been so long.
I think it's going to change because they went through the wall and then the white turned into blue where the White Walkers are going.
You're saying it's going to get ruined if he starts to wreck places on the way
it
down?
is. I think it is.
Yes.
I think it's going to be different every week because it started with the place where the little boy gets stuck to the
my
wall.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the first place it goes down to? So I think it's going to
That was...
I think the blue stuff will be past that this time and the next week Winterfell will be ruined.
They've done a load of
so-
ghosts now about the screaming goat, and that's slightly been ruined. But yeah.
Right, we need some structure to this, otherwise we're just going to...
Okay, so firstly, what time do you guys watch it in the evening? Because it's on evening time for you, isn't it?
7
7
p.m.
Okay, so you guys are there at 7 p.m. Phil sets his alarm 3:15 a.m. because he's hardcore and he had work
I had work,
beforehand.
then I had to go see Papa, and then I had to go back to work the next day.
The
and,
roach.
and then I had a late into an early, and then Tottenham were playing the evening after. So I wouldn't have literally watched it until Thursday afternoon, so I had to get up.
Yeah, so he got up at 3:15. I got up at 6. So it's a weird time to watch, isn't it? Because like the boy on the wall, it's really scary.
really scary
It's
at that
really
time of the
scary.
morning.
Yeah, that time of the morning. We were both like, I don't like this.
I was like, I don't want the lights, I don't make too much noise, and then all of a sudden you just see this.
Well, because they didn't. They didn't do that classic thing of like having a jumpy sound when his eyes open. So I was just sort of like my eyes were roaming around the screen, and I was like, oh, his eyes are open, and I was just,
I saw it. I was like, oh no.
But like you say, if we try and get a little bit of structure to the episode, I'll just go around and very quickly get everyone's kind of very first impressions on it. So
truthfulness.
Wow.
You can say it was
I
boring.
thought it was a
Go
bit
ahead.
slow and a bit boring.
Okay.
Yep.
Brian, are you on the same wavelength?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Oh, and Shelby. Okay.
obviously the Night King part was nice, and it did a lot of exposition, which is what it had to do. Like, people had to be moved into places, knowledge had to be shared, but it was kind of a drag. But it had to be done.
They covered a lot.
Yeah. So what
True.
were you? Are you on the same wavelength, Shelby? You thought it was a bit slow?
I did, and I don't know. If you're going to have an episode that doesn't have any like action fighting stuff, I think there needed to be more conniving and secrets and things like that. I feel like we never had like conflict, like true conflict until the end.
I'm waiting for a friend.
You mean when Jamie rocks up and looks over and
No.
Bran's staring at him?
That was, yeah, it was everything was frosty. All the conflict was pretty frosty. You didn't even get Sam like having any sort of outburst until he talks to John. And he doesn't even really get that upset with him. It's just like, I don't know.
She killed
Pretty
my mum
much
and dad.
everything happened in the last
Yes.
10 minutes.
Yeah. So I actually thought they revealed way more that episode than I was expecting. Like, I was expecting the whole John is the true king to be dragged out over a few more episodes. So I'm actually quite grateful and curious, because it's like, boom, they're in there with that. So it makes me think they are really, really cracking on with this. And so there's just a few more things that aren't going to be held back. And I liked that, like you said, and the Theon thing as well, because I thought he was going to spend a good few episodes trying to get his sister back, and it's like, boom, we're back, and now see you later.
Yeah.
And
that was
yeah, that's true.
maybe 8 minutes. worth of
yeah,
screen
so
time.
it makes me think like, well, I thought that was going to be Theon's almost his entire plot for this like season. So
Yeah, like that would be
Yeah.
his
He's dying.
version of the
He's
saga.
dying next episode.
see, okay, well, hold that thought.
Next
We're gonna
he's going to be in Winterfell, and he's going to die.
round it
I-
off with
I was so surprised that they made me not like Danny anymore.
I don't know what that feels like.
snap.
So
I mean, I was like, man, she's just like not understanding what it takes to be a leader of people that are not ready for this.
I think she's turning into the Mad King.
Kind of. I mean, like,
I think there's
She-
something wrong with Targaryens. Oh, I'm sorry, Targaryens.
Tagar.
Tagaragans.
We did have House Stark and House
Excuse me.
Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Stop making me laugh.
Okay.
Professional.
Hold on. Ooh. We did have House Stark and House Targaryen beers yesterday to prepare.
That's
But-
true.
I don't know. It's just I was upset that she has no idea of, okay, this is a place where I have to earn these people's respect, and I'll do that. I feel like the old Dany would have done that.
Well,
She would have done something to earn their trust and
the
respect.
thing is, before, all she did was rock up and free the slaves, and then immediately had an army of people that adored her because they were freed slaves now. She can't do that in the North. They're free people. So you can't be like, please love me because I did this thing for you.
And, you know, her I'm not very appreciative of them pitting Sansa and Dany against each other. I really don't like that. At all.
That's kind of a weird.
It's like a weird.
move.
I'm like, come on, are we really gonna do like, ooh, two girls in power don't like each other? Like, okay, boring. I don't know. But then they didn't actually show her being upset about and like realizing her kind of crazy actions have consequences and seeing how it impacts people like Sam. Maybe we'll see that tonight.
I think the point is she doesn't care. That's why I'm saying she's got that crazy streak. But Soph, let's hear from someone who loves Dany.
So I kind of think I actually appreciate that Dany isn't getting bogged down. You know, the whole like earning the people's respect, that can come afterwards if they're even still alive. Like, she's focused here on the bigger picture, which is the massive horde of undead that are coming towards them. Just because some crotchety old Winterfell like woman sits there and is like, I don't like this foreign queen. Well, she can frankly go stick it, because Dany's here with her dragons. She's putting her babies on the line for these people. And she's got a realm to save, basically. And she's put aside all of her like political machinations and plotting, and she's going for the Night King. She's got the bigger picture here. It's like Jon Snow says, none of this matters when he comes, because it's the living versus the dead. And I just think Dany can win their respect when she kicks his ass back into like whatever cold hell he's come from. Then she'll have their respect once she's saved the North from the impending doom that's coming towards it. I mean, she already lost one of her babies for this, like, worthless kingdom. So, you know, she's there to mean business. I kind of get what you're saying with the whole pitting her against Sansa. I suppose logically, those two women have no reason to trust each other. And if they were two male characters, they would also have no particular reason to trust each other, because, you know, Sansa in particular, I think, again, I'm a bit of a, like, Sansa, like, I don't know, fan. And Sansa's going, like, Jon, are you doing this because you think she can help us win this war? Or are you doing it because you are not thinking with your head, but you're thinking further south? Because, like she says, did you throw away your crown? Did you give away your crown because you wanted to save the North, or because you love her? And, you know, she's got to be looking at him kind of mooning over Dany, and they're thinking, are you losing your head now over this woman because we need you?
Because we had that with my other brother.
And I just think, and I think
Yeah,
Sansa
exactly.
hasn't realised that actually she could be that ruler. The North doesn't need Jon Snow. The North actually needs Sansa Stark, Queen in the North. Mic drop. Phil.
Queen of the North.
What am I talking about?
I don't know. Do you have anything to add to Dany in this episode?
Dany, she's going to die.
Oh, can you stop with that? I just...
She will.
Phil's answer to everything in Game of Thrones. Well, they're gonna die.
Jon Snow will be the king. And
If she dies next episode, I'm not finishing the series. I am not watching it. I cannot.
There's no way they would kill her off that
Phil,
early.
but that was a wild thing that came out of Phil's mouth this afternoon. Just there, cooking a barbecue. Oh, I think Dany's going to die next episode. Need some big deaths.
we do need some big deaths.
We do, but it's going to be
We
like...
had no deaths in
it's
the
going
last
to be
one,
like
did we?
Theon, isn't it? Or, you know, Dolores Ed. It's not going to be Dany. Dany's going to be on the Iron Throne.
Are we getting into Deathpool yet? Because I think
I
Do you know what? We've naturally
no,
arrived.
no, I
at
don't
you,
think so.
Right? Okay.
I think we
fine.
should continue talking about episode 1.
Okay.
What was everyone's favourite moment in
Okay.
episode 1 then?
The little boy caught fire with the emblem.
honestly, that was
Absolutely.
amazing.
Hands
But
down.
my favorite was, I've always had blue eyes.
That was really good, yeah.
I liked Gendry and Arya.
Oh, love those two.
There was a little bit of flirting and it was nice.
I want them to end up together. I really do.
He's a king, so
Oh, I know he's not, is he? He's half a king.
yeah.
Yeah. He's an unofficial. He's a usurper.
Yeah, exactly. An illegitimate son of the usurper. My favourite, because it has been the payoff.
I'm going to
We've
put a
been
little
weighted.
prince in your belly.
Oh, don't. Just, okay.
Oh, God. He's insufferable. But, man, that guy plays that character
doesn't he?
fabulously.
We need to talk about Cersei in a second, actually. But my favourite moment, the payoff, we've been waiting. I don't know, is it a decade that we've been waiting for? Arya and Jon reunion. That was lovely.
true.
And I really needed that. I loved the fact that it was like, oh, look at your sword. And then there was like that dark moment where he's like, have you had to use it? And she's like, a little bit, and didn't say the fact that she turned into like a ninja killing queen.
I mean, I'm kind of like a better
Yeah.
than you, but
She's like, yeah, I've got some game. And then like, they looked at his, and it was just a perfect Jon and Arya reunion, and I needed it in my life, because so my theory on this episode is this is like the deep breath before the plunge, and I think they very deliberately showed us things like Jon and Dany reunion, Theon and Yara. They've shown those two. I think we're seeing the last moments of happiness for these characters, and like Jon and Dany going for that like dragon ride together. Like, it's really some of the only times you see Jon smile, and Dany as well. Like, they're not two particularly cheerful characters, and I just think this is the last happiness. And then next episode is going to be there's going to be conflict between Jon and Dany. Like, how is that going to go down between those two now? And then the Night King's going to arrive and be like, who cares? Stab, stab, stab. And yeah, so for me, this episode was about giving us, apart from Sam, Sam had like no happiness this episode. Bad times. Hashtag awkward.
Yeah, really.
He played that really well. The actor
did,
did
yeah.
so well.
Yeah,
Oh my
he
gosh,
did. Like the subtle difference between, oh, your
Yeah.
dad died, to, oh, your brother also died. Like, that was so well done.
And the Hound and Arya
Amazing.
having their little reunion as well, where he's like, you are cold. You are really cold. And it's just like, I'm so here for that. But yeah, so let's move south then. What do we think? What is Cersei's game here? Because I just feel like if she wants no part of the Night King's war and she wants to pick the pieces off afterwards, she'd get out. Like, she'd move, wouldn't she? She's got a fleet there. Like, why is she just sat there kind of thinking probably nothing's bad's going to happen down here when the war is going to end up on her doorstep? Like, what's her logic there? She's a clever woman. Like,
She's just waiting to take apart whatever shows up. That's what I think.
she's overconfident and thinks that she can defeat that on her own. So she thinks that all her enemies can go and try and fight it and completely destroy themselves, and then she'll take care of it, and then she'll have no problems.
Well, she has overcome everything
Yeah.
that's like stood in front of her so far, so she probably has a good reason to be fairly confident. But yeah, I think she's just got her hired army waiting for whatever shows up at the door, and then she's just gonna handle it. She's gonna be in trouble though, because I think what's gonna show up is gonna be Jon and Dany running from the Night King when he sacks Winterfell tonight.
I am fully on board that theory.
Yeah, I mean, you can't... Part of me is like, there are 2 dragons, and as far as I'm concerned, they could just decimate that army. But you can't have him build for that amount of time for him to then... Yeah, taking out the wall, that is pretty epic, but that's not the kind of devastation that this series
The
gives
wall
us.
is magic.
Exactly, and he took it out.
Exactly.
So
That's
that's what I'm saying. It is epic, but that can't be his only victory.
No.
This isn't Star Wars where the villains
No,
just
no,
constantly lose all the time. Like,
So-
the villains win a lot. in
Okay,
this.
death count. Are we considering Bran is dying tonight?
No, Bran's surviving the whole thing.
No, not at all.
Bran
Brand's
can be king.
the three-eyed raven.
Or he's
He
already
can't
dead.
die. Oh,
Okay.
man.
Danny or Jon?
No. I think we're going to...
No,
you
not
think-
this, not this early.
Do you think Bran already knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
And he's just kind of
He
waiting
is
around,
so
waiting
important.
for it to play out?
Why
Like the
was
Doctor
he?
Strange.
Why was he waiting for Jamie?
Ha, yeah,
like,
exactly.
I know that's like, oh, you pushed me out a window, but that's not the sort of thing that Bran would really care about anymore as the Three-Eyed Raven. So it's a bit like, is it
I think
significant? Because
yeah,
it
I
was
think
such a
Bran-
monumentous moment.
Yeah, it's significant because
I
he's
think
the one
that-
that's going to kill Cersei.
Honestly, I think that Jamie is way more important to this than we all really understand.
I agree.
And I think that Bran knows that, and Bran's going to be the one that when he gets put in front of Danny saying, you killed my dad, Bran will be the one that's...
Yeah.
I was going to say stands up, that's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
It's going to be the one that goes forward and says, no, he's important. We need him.
Yeah. See, my only worry with this whole, in the way that it's going, is it does feel like Tyrion is losing relevance to the story. Like, I know he's Queen's Hand, but they're not really as important when you've not got the political backstabbing that was in the earlier series. When Ned got made King's Hand, that was like pretty exciting. And I'm wondering what kind of, or is it still just going to be this sibling struggle? Is Tyrion's fate not necessarily key with the Night King's war? It's actually him versus Cersei, and is he going down that route? Yeah.
I think most of the Lannister stuff is going to be in family.
I do.
It's going to be the struggle between the three.
I do
of them.
wonder if that. I don't think. Okay, so I came screaming into the chat earlier today to be like, what if the climax of this series isn't the Night King, but it's the politics afterwards, And part of me thinks that could happen. Like these are really long episodes now. That could end in episode 4, and then episodes 5 and 6 are just Lannisters and Starks fighting it out at the end, and then that's got the kind of mega shock factor of who ends up on top. Because I don't think it's who's left standing after the night. It's not going to be just who's left standing when the Night King, is eventually, we assume, defeated. I don't think that's our ultimate winner of the Game of Thrones. I think the Night King is going to have done his bit, and then there will be more than one person left at the end to fight over the remains.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't think the Night King's going to get taken out of the story tonight. I think he's going to have a victory. What I think is going to happen is he's going to come in, he's going to sack Winterfell, they're going to have to retreat, and then Cersei is going to probably push back. So now you're going to have our quote-unquote heroes in the middle fighting the undead and fighting Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just going to be like a war on two fronts, and it's going to be intense.
So I wonder if that's where is Yara then going to come across and help, or is she just going to? Is that Yara done now? Is she just out in the Iron Islands, or will they retreat to the Iron Islands? Like she said, they might need.
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reek might show up and be like,
yeah. She must have been kept. She just must have been kept alive for a reason, not just so that Theon could do a heroic rescue, because Theon could have easily just joined the Starks army regardless. So I feel like they've kept Yara alive for a reason when she could have died last season, and I thought she was going to. I just think at this moment the people are alive for a reason. So who? Okay, go on then. Who do we think could potentially, who's at risk next episode, or more at risk than any Game of Thrones character?
Brienne.
Yeah.
Yeah, any fighting person.
Paul Mod.
Oh yes.
So what?
Any of your frontline people, Grey Worm.
Any of?
Honestly,
Hound,
I think Tyrion could be in jeopardy.
Nah, Tyrion's not going to be fighting this time. He doesn't have a.
See, I think the
person
Hound
out
is
there to make
safe
him.
for a couple more episodes as well. I think.
Gendry?
Yeah, he could go. I'm not worried about Arya. I never have been worried about Arya.
No.
I feel like she's going to live this whole thing out. So that could, yeah.
She's a survivor.
Yeah. I worry a lot about the dragons. Is she going to end up?
Yes.
I can't bear her to lose. It was heartbreaking when she lost.
It was.
Viserion?
It was heartbreaking until the true hero brought the dragon back.
Stop being a troll, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I want the Night King to win.
Is
I think it would be fabulous.
the Red Woman coming back?
What storytelling? She has to, right? She predicted that she was going to die there.
Yeah.
I hope she doesn't just come back and die. I hope we get her in a couple of episodes.
I want her to do something crazy magic
Yes.
awesome.
It would be interesting to see some full-fledged.
Or what if she comes back and turns the dragon back?
I was
I'm
thinking.
into it.
Oh, she could bring
I'm
it back
so
to
into
life.
that.
Yes.
Or maybe if Drogon,
No,
if Drogon gets turned to ice as well, and that's obviously you're not meant to have favourite children, but he's clearly Daddy's favourite, and I think it's last, and then she brings him back or something.
I was thinking more that the battle's going the wrong direction and they're starting to get slaughtered, and the Red Lady comes in and just holds them back so they can escape.
Well, the
and then
fiery
she dies
sword,
at that point.
The fiery sword really helps Beric, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, he's used that a couple of times now, and it's to marvellous effect. But yeah, I'm concerned about people like...
Well, the only three things that can kill the walkers are like dragon glass, fire, and
Dragonfire.
Valyrian steel. So I mean, when you don't have Valyrian steel,
See?
fire is a nice addition.
Like, imagine
to your
her,
S-word.
like, just lighting all of their swords on fire.
Oh,
Oh
as
god,
yeah,
that'd be
in
cool. They
battle.
all stand there like ready, and all of a sudden just whoosh.
that would be awesome.
Oh, that'd be
so
lit.
awesome. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
What I like about Game of Thrones is that we can come up with all these ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll probably still do something better.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, the fun part too is like you can think of the most convoluted thing, and there's still a slight chance out there that it could happen, because what they've really done with this series is almost at every turn not done anything you
Yeah.
expect them to do.
Yeah.
So it really allows your speculative theory side to just run free.
Yeah, it's gonna be
And it's so much
gonna be
fun.
really dramatic, isn't it? And of course, the last one that we haven't really mentioned is Bronn being sent to take out the brothers, which seemed strange to me that Jaime was included in that. I know he betrayed Cersei, but I feel like they both still love each other way too much to actually kill each other at this point.
He's not going to do it.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely not.
no.
I think he potentially will die. Who's Brienne training? What's that young man called?
Oh, Pod!
I think he could kill
He's
him.
on borrowed time.
I
He's
think
on
he could. No, I think
serious-
he could kill him
Yeah, he's on
in
serious.
defending. Like,
Jamie. Would
Tyrion.
Pod would defend Tyrion, yes.
Oh, Tyrion. Oh my gosh. Pod defends Tyrion against Bran of the
because
Blackwater. I want that
Brienne
to
has
happen
been
now.
training him.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
I do
I
love,
love
Pod.
Pod.
Pod?
Oh, he was, yeah. Oh, well, basically, so a slower but important episode, I think, for the opening episode.
Yeah, like we started out complaining about how it wasn't that good, and that
And then we were
we've
just
talked
like,
about it
Oh,
for
remember
like
this bit?
who knows how long.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it was important, and yeah, we'll
It was like you said. I think it's all the setup. Like they have put all the pieces into position now, and it's like dominoes, right? You have to take that time to set
Yeah.
everything up. And now I'm thinking 10 to 15 minutes into this next episode, someone's gonna flick that first domino, and then it's just gonna be craziness
Yeah.
for the next 4.5 episodes
Yeah.
or whatever.
I can't rule out that we're not going to stay up tonight and watch it. I think a sensible thing to do would be to go to sleep and watch it in the morning. But we'll see. It's exciting. It's almost
We'll let you know at the end if you should go.
yeah. Just give it a miss. It's fine. So okay, well I think that is a wrap on our segmenty episode. So sorry there wasn't a main event, but I feel like Game of Thrones turned into the main event there.
yeah. I'm a
and
bit
we-
worried for next week when we talk
Yeah.
about Endgame.
It was a bit
How are
of
we gonna fit it?
a catch-up episode. We haven't had our segments for like
No,
3 weeks.
No, we
so.
all had a lot to talk about. Hopefully, what we'll do is we'll rattle through the segments next week, have half an hour on Game of Thrones, and then an hour on Endgame, because that is your next episode coming up, guys. Because the next time we
Yeah,
talk,
we're just gonna spend the rest of the Sunday just talking
the
about
next
Endgame.
time we talk, guys, will be we will have seen Endgame, and that's
That is
just
amazing
not
to me.
something that my brain can comprehend. So, like
I hear you.
Thanos, let's click our fingers on this episode and have it dissolve away. Guys, where can people find the pod?
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at PNE_pod.
You can hit us up via email at contact@podsandends.com.
Or check out our website, podsandends.com.
All right, thank you so much for listening, guys, and we will catch you next week. Bye!
Bye.